Hello, Taurus, and welcome to the Summit Experience. I was really trying not to do you guys. I really was trying to not do Taurus for the mid-month because I feel like I've been getting the same readings or message for Taurus over and over and over again. So I really thought I wouldn't do, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try to change my energy. I'm gonna shift my energy to focus more on a different spirit body because I tend to channel the same spirit body for a time being. But I have noticed that sometimes, especially when I get to a certain point, my energy starts to shift. Or if I take a break, which is why I wanted to take a break from your sign specifically, to shift my energy so I can focus on a new spirit body. Because that spirit body, whoever they are, whatever they're doing, that's your journey, that's your path. If you don't want to listen, they say a word is enough for the wise. If I have to say something 50 times and you still don't want to do it or you still don't want to act or whatever, then that's your because the message keeps coming up. So, that's their business. So I'm going to try to pull from a different spirit body. I don't know. I generally, I don't orchestrate these things. Whatever needs to come up is going to come up. But whatever comes up is what comes up. But I'm going to make a conscious effort to pull from a different spirit body. Now, let's see if you want to book a private reading. Do not call me on Instant Go right now. For some reason, I'm having a hard time with Instant Go. It's happened twice already this month where my payments where I've done readings, like I did a 2 hour reading for a client and then came pay time. And I understand it's a Mercury retrograde, so it might have to do with that. The first time it happened was August 1st, and now it's happened this like a few days ago where I did like a 2 hour reading for a client and I only got like they didn't pay me for it. It wasn't charged. So I am so stressed right now with everything that's going on in my life and trying to keep myself afloat, and I don't need extra stress. So if you want to book a private reading, you have to book it the traditional way. If you call me on Instant Go, send a private message, I might get to you, I might not. But right now, where I am with Instant Go is a laissez-faire kind of attitude. So if you want to book a private reading, the best option is to book it the traditional way. All right, let's get started. And all the steps to that are listed down below in the description box. Let's get started. Taurus, mid-month. Mid-month, Taurus, mid-month. The Lovers, a decision to be made. Two of Wands, stagnation, standing at the threshold. Queen of Swords, a decision to be made. What needs to be cut out? What needs to be brought in? The Strength, going to require courage. Moving forward into this whole shebang of a thing. Two of Wands, the King of Swords. Mm, mm. And we have the Lovers. Some of you could be doing someone with heavy Mercury because we have two air energy here. Mercury, communication. You might be doing with someone with heavy Mercury. So Gemini, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, maybe even Venus with the, Leo here. That could also be Venus. And we have Gemini here actually. So some of you are definitely dealing with a Geminian energy or Mercurial energy here. But it's about making a decision, finding courage, speaking your truth, being receptive, and being uh, reactive. The Six of Swords, the World, and the Ten of Cups. Now, I already know what it's saying. Come on, seriously. There could be a soulmate past life situation here. Someone is stuck, of course, they are. Karma, blah, blah, blah. Bound by karmic binding. Need to make a decision. They're not making it. They want to run around. They might have an air sign in their environment. A Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Most likely a Gemini. It could also represent a person being of two minds about a thing. When you have the king and the queen showing up together, there might be a very strong connection between two people. Again, going back into past life situations, maybe marriage or something of that sort. Now let's see right here with the shadow. The Ten of Wands, and I just said this, going back into past life situations. I mean, the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the King of Swords at the bottom of the deck, the Page of Swords, the Magician, and the Two of Wands, stagnation, waiting. Some of you are moving forward, the decision has been made. Waiting and weighing the options, victory. Some of you have some kind of a new endeavor you want to pursue, or you're building up on something, and you're at a point now. Some of you career wise or passion wise, as pertaining to career and life path work, what you want to do with your life, might have some kind of a calling to heal, a calling to heal the masses, perhaps, or well, you can't heal the masses, but you can heal, at least not directly. You can't heal the masses. You cannot, but indirectly you can by changing one soul at a time, and so on and so forth. I guess in a way, kind of what I'm doing, more in the spiritual sense, what I'm doing. Some of you might have some kind of a calling, and you are stuck here in this great divide where you have to give into your calling and your healing purpose. Give me a second. You might be stuck. You might be stuck in between your calling and your healing purpose. I'm feeling like some of you are not making this decision because of what you have to benefit um, on the other side. Whereas you might not be happy working the job that you're working, pursuing what you're pursuing. You might not be happy in that headspace, but you're doing it because it pays the bills, doing it because, and the decision has to be made, but the decision has already been made, as at least as far as your fate, because you would know, I always say fate and free will. Those are two things. There are two truths that exist in this world, and I don't care what anybody says, and I don't care how they look at it, and who wants to say what, and who doesn't like what I say. But the fact of the matter is, there are two truths that I believe in very strongly, and I believe with them with every fiber of my being, is that there's fate and there's free will. And what I'm seeing here is that someone has been fated to pursue a certain path, but by free will they're standing as a blockage to their actually actualizing their ability to actualize this. And it could be due to familial expectations, meaning, the pressure. Maybe you're from a political family and they want you to pursue politics, or your parents could have been, men of the badge, so they're expecting you to become a soldier, or cop or something of that sort, or they're wealthy and they run a certain kind of business and they're expecting you to inherit that business and move it forward. There's some kind of a blockage here, and also some of you are just complacent. You're complacent because you've gotten so comfortable in a certain kind of lifestyle, and yes, it pays the bills, and yes, you are Taurus, so you guys are bougie. So you like things that are tangible. You're materialistic people. You believe in the material realm, and that's not to generalize and say that all Taurians have to be that way. There's a lot that happens that conditions people that way, but generally the energy of Taurus is that of materialism, practicality, things that are tangible, things that can be handled and touched and felt, and that can be sensed, beyond the ethers, and so, and that might be a hard part. That might be why you're having such a hard time balancing this passionate aspect of yourself, because you're so caught up in the reality of who you are and the reality of what you do, that you can't seem to break free and materialize and manifest this thing that is supposed to be materializing and manifesting for you. But you also know that where you are right now is a dead end, which is where the contradiction comes in, because you know that where you are right now is a dead end and there's no fulfillment to be had here. Um, for those of you I'm talking to, it's a general reading. It's not going to be for everybody. For those of you that it applies to, you will know. The Five of Cups, exasperation. Um, but again, it tells me you will know because the Five of Cups. This person has the two cups in their hands and they're facing the two cups. And I always say to me in this deck that represents acknowledgement, being aware. Usually the Five of Cups, the person is turned and they have their back to the two cups and they're focused on the three cups. But this person, this is why I keep saying, you know where your blockage is. You're aware of your blockage, but you are comfortable in your blockage and you're comfortable in feeling like in the mundane and in the tradition and in the lower vibrational hierophant energy, you're comfortable in it, and I can't tell you not to be comfortable in it, but and perhaps I tend to be a bit harsh on that because I am so Aries moon, intensely Aries moon, where the fool, sometimes even being a fool. So perhaps that's why I can't relate to that energy so strongly, but something's got to give at some point, and if you're not happy, then what's the point? The Four of Wands, okay, the Six of Cups, and the Empress. You're definitely dealing with Six of Cups, Devil. That's a lower vibrational Taurus I was just talking about, that lower vibrational Hierophant I was just talking about, and the Queen of Pentacles, okay? There's a card of Taurus and Virgo. This is the card of Taurus and Virgo. Some of you are dealing with a person that is from a past life situation. Devil, Eight of Swords. Devil, Eight of Swords, mental prison. Karma, Nine of Swords, okay? And the Five of Swords, self-deception. You're lying to yourself or you're being lied to. It's a lose-lose battle, but for some reason I feel like you're playing that game by yourself now because someone here is going to check out soon enough. Again, I'm still getting that same scenario. The Queen of Pentacles to me represents investment. Invest in time, invest in energy. The Queen of Pentacles is the one that shows up. That's a card of Virgo and Taurus. And in a very practical sense, when I say show up, I mean they're not just the people that are going to be like, oh, I really like you and blah, blah, blah. No, they show up. If you are going through something, the Queen of Pentacles is the person that you go and borrow money from. If she has to give, she will give. If the Queen of Pentacles has and that's why I always say, like, she's my favorite. She's one of my favorite. The Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Sun are most my favorite cards in tarot. And because of what they represent, I believe so strongly in showing up for people and, seeing something or someone going through something and then showing up, and that's one of the best aspects of Taurus. So I keep feeling like there's this sense of something that needs to be nurtured, and something that's sticking out a lot to me is that this night, sorry if I'm kind of all over the place, it's really hard and I've been doing readings all day, well, general readings, not private ones, but yeah. This woman has her hand in her hand in her face in her hand, and she's crying, and it's like she's mourning a loss, right? Let's just assume, loss due to war, battle, because there's swords on the floor, and nine candles or however many candles, black candles, so representing death. And then behind her is this rising sun, and then we have the sun here. So it's like, again, I'm getting this feeling, and I'm getting the story of someone that knows. I mean, the sun is there; it's not going anywhere. It's making itself very present. But right next to her is this person with the Eight of Swords who has their eyes blinded, and they have all this fire behind them. And he has. If you look right here, it looks like he has his arms like put together as if he's bound, but his hands are not bound. And you look at his feet, it's like you think they're bound, but they're not bound. So it's this person that is existing in this illusionary state of a prison is a person that's existing in an illusionary state of a prison. And that's not to say that the prison might not be real, but it's that they're existing in the prison and they're choosing to exist in the prison. And even though they have options, they're surrounded by swords where they can easily cut themselves free. They're surrounded by swords. They're choosing not to. And that comes up with the devil, which talks of unhealthy habits, addictions, patterns, unhealthiness. Some of you are dealing with someone that might be a karmic release from a past life, meaning you guys could have been married in a past life here. You could have been married, could have had a family. And I already picked that up right from when the lovers, and I've been talking about that. I feel like there was a marriage here in a past life. These two people were married. But for it to be karmic binding, then there must have been something that went wrong. What went wrong in this family? What went wrong? The Three of Pentacles, the Tower, divorce, breaking up, and the Magician. And under the Magician, the Three of Wands. Someone might have had another family. Someone might have had another family. Or there was a three-party relationship. Even here with the Tower, we have three people coming out of the Tower, falling out of the Tower. So there might have been a three-party, four-party situation going on here. Someone might have had another family. They might have led another person on to believe that they were there to stay. Might have been a lower vibrational magician. True essence of the magician here. Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups. Illusion with the Seven of Cups there. They might have led another person. And, well, to be quite honest, I feel like they actually really did mean to be there for the person. They really did. But for whatever reason, whatever transpired, and which would explain why there's a karmic binding between these two people now, and that has to be released. Going all the way back to past lives. One of you might have cursed the other person. One of you might have actually placed a curse on the other person with the Magician and the Tower. And because of that curse, you've been bound spiritually. Because the balance has to be maintained. So in this lifetime, you might have a calling to purge out. And you might have a calling of conditioning. And I've been talking about this for a while now with Taurus. Let's see. Let's get more. And external. Well, let me see. Advice for Taurus. The Justice. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. The Magician. The Tower, again, right there. Justice, the Knight of Wands, the Four Swords, the Seven of Pentacles. Putting it to rest. Justice. Some of you could do the Libra. Remember I talked about how the balance has to be maintained. I just talked about that like a minute or two ago. This is the balance that's needed to be maintained. And I find it very interesting that in this deck she has a pomegranate in her hand. And one of her hands is skeletal. Pomegranates, of course, represent fertility, birth, rebirth. She has the scales in her hand, representing the balance, karmic law, and order. Standing between the two pillars. And behind her is this desert land, looking seemingly desert land. And the Wheel of Fortune also hangs over her head. Yeah, well, I feel like there might have been a curse here. I'm getting energy of a curse. I feel like there might have been a curse. Someone would have cursed. I feel like either you, Taurus, in your past life or the person you're dealing with did something really bad. And another person might have put a curse on them or on the other person. Whatever. You kind of get what I'm trying to say. And that has created a kind of soul bond, karmic energy between the two entities involved, the two personalities involved, and that karmic imbalance is needing to be rectified now in this lifetime. Anyways, that's all that I have for you. I'm going to cut it up here. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you want a private reading, again, please keep in mind, try to get to me via the traditional method and not through Instant Go. Thank you guys for being here. I wish you the best. Stay blessed. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.